ready?
Yeah, you ready?
Yes.
Oh. I feel, yeah, you started a little
I-
premature there. Seems like
It's okay, I'm here to guide the show.
only been a 1 week break, which
I'll
is
get
good.
us there.
3, 2, 1. Hey everyone, it's Wild Josh. I'm joined tonight by Kyle and Chase, and we have all sorts of different things to talk about tonight, including some information from Comic-Con. Now, let's get geeky. In our first segment, where we talk about what we've been up to since our last episode, we're going to start with Kyle. What have you been up to?
All right, well, I today drank water.
Nice. Good
Hmm.
job.
Thank you.
It's important.
Between the hours of 8 a.m. and 4 p.m., I drank 131 ounces of water as
Wow.
part of a gallon challenge. Yesterday, I agreed to be part of a work Get Healthy program where you weigh in and do healthy challenges for 12 weeks in an effort to lose a bunch of weight. And I don't know if I'm going to lose a bunch of weight, but I'm definitely going to support my workmates and, I don't know, do the rah-rah thing. But they were like, oh, you got to do challenges like drink a gallon of water in a day. And I was like, I'm not afraid of water. And they're like, oh, it's going to be awful. You're going to have to pee a lot. Oh, like, that makes sense. So I did it today, and I did pee a lot, but I will say I made that challenge happen. So that's something. Also, I'm actually pretty excited. I saved $300 that I was never going to spend, and it just cost me an additional 14 months. What am I talking about? Well, I don't know if you remember, we mentioned this in a previous podcast, but someone that I heard about spent $300 to get a character in a mobile game, Fulcrum Ahsoka Tano, and today I 7-starred her for free.
Yeah, that's good. I've had her 7-starred for a while. I'm surprised you just got her today.
Yeah, well, that's embarrassing. Well, anyways, Josh, combined we saved $600.
We both, between the two of us, yep.
So we could get a
And I've saved $100 because I'm never going to even attempt to do that. So there's another
that's $900. We should treat ourselves to a nice bottle of scotch.
Oh, that would be a very nice
Okay.
bottle of scotch.
And we'll hang on to it for you, Chase, I guess. Thirdly, I've been playing this game Overcooked, and it's been stressing me out. It's a game where and I play on the PS4, but I'm sure it's available on multiple platforms. But you play it.
I think it's on Steam too.
Oh, Chase would love that. He's on Steam or whatever. So what it is you can play by yourself or with another person, but you're coordinating at least 2 avatars to run a kitchen. You gotta make food and deliver it and wash the dishes and all kinds of having your first job kind of deal.
like Restaurant Frenzy or Cook.
Yeah, just like any of those, but it's not. It's Overcooked. And it's been stressing me out because there's a song that they play, and as you get towards the end, it starts to speed up, so you know you're running out of time, and then it gets really, really fast, and you realize you're not going to be able to do anything else, and then your time's up. And when I've been sitting at work, that song has been going through my head, so it's like I'm like, I gotta get something done, and the song in my head keeps speeding and going faster and faster, and it's stressing me out so much, even when I'm not playing it. And lastly, I've been reading this book, Devil in the White City, by Eric Larson. It was given to me by our friend Jonah to read, and it's about the building of the World's Fair in Chicago.
Okay, yep.
In the 1890s, and the backdrop is the people who are building the fair set against the man who came to be known as H.H. Holmes. That wasn't his real name. But who was the first serial killer in the United States, and how he built his, for lack of a better term, murder house in Chicago at that time, and just keeps going back and forth in those stories. And it's actually it's pretty good. There's a lot of cool history, especially with the fair that you learn, and that's actually a more interesting part of the book, I'd say, than the bad man who did bad things.
Ah, nice.
Approximately how long
Sorry, go ahead. Can you say that again? I couldn't quite hear you.
You said been reading and not have read.
You're still cutting out, but it sounds like you're asking how long I've read the book. And it's
Yes.
I've had it.
I think my internet is in the process of dying, so that's probably why.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, that's okay. Anyways, I've been reading it for about 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks. And it's a thick read. What I'll say about that is that it's very detailed, but it's not at all boring in that way. Like I'm not getting through this book very quickly, but everything that's part of that book, there's not a wasted page.
Nice.
Good.
Is that all you have?
That is all I have.
All right. What about you, Chase?
Playing a game called Sport Manager, so
I think we're losing Chase. You're there, Chase?
I am here.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
You seem like you're very cutting in and out a lot.
That's not good.
Right now, you sound okay.
Does it sound fine?
Yep.
Okay. So I've been playing Motorsport. How much of it did you hear, so I don't repeat all of
I
myself?
heard Sport Manager.
Okay. So, Motorsport Manager, it's a game, I guess, kind of like Kyle's Overcooked, where I'm controlling two characters, but it's racing. So, you're a team principal and you have to, work your car, build better cars and faster cars, whatever, and then run the race strategy of your two drivers and try and win races and stuff. So, right now the goal is I'm trying to get from the equivalent of Formula 3 up into Formula 1. So, it's a long road of a lot of money ahead, but it's been very entertaining so far. And then the other thing is after I finished Parks and Rec, I kind of didn't have anything to watch, and so I was just scrolling through Netflix, and I found Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Mm-hmm.
And I know a little bit about S.H.I.E.L.D., but I'm usually not a huge superhero person. I guess I've been getting more into it, though. And so I started watching that show on Netflix, and it's really, 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 really good. I really like it.
That's a good show. I watched it. I don't remember what season it was, but they eventually introduced Ghost Rider, and I didn't really care for his story, and I stopped watching it then. And even though it was a small story arc, it kind of killed it for me.
Yeah, I didn't like that story arc either, so I haven't finished it. I'm going to finish season 4 tonight, so I'll be on the last season tomorrow morning. But yeah, I didn't like that section, but everything else I've really, really liked.
Yeah.
It's just, they do some things that, like, I don't entirely see coming, which I've watched a lot of that type of show, like cop shows and secret agent shows and whatever. And so I know a lot of the stories that they're going to try and go with. But I think because they can have the superhero aspect, it's been catching me off guard a bit more than I was expecting it to. That's something that I liked.
Yeah, I remember they really throw you off there with that main character at the very beginning when he turns out to be Hydra.
Yeah.
That was like, whoa, you weren't seeing that coming.
Yeah, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is good.
Yeah, so that's all I had to say about that, aside from the fact that I really, really liked it. I'm excited to see the last season and sad to see the next season, because then it means I'll have to find another show again.
It's still going, though, that show, right? I believe
Is it?
it's not. Yeah, I think so.
Oh, good.
I think it's still going, yeah.
Yeah.
That's good, because I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I found out they were doing Ghost Rider, I never tuned in for that season. I don't know if it's season 3 or season 4. But I liked that show right up until then. Like I watched it pretty faithfully, and I just haven't.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten back into it.
Yeah.
So did they explain away Ghost Rider, or was it just Demo basically?
I think it's just him. Like the rest, because there's other like ghosts, I guess, in that story arc, and they end up being explained as not ghosts. Whereas they're kind of stuck in a dimension in between.
Okay.
I don't know. It's weird. So they're not actually ghosts.
Yeah.
Because I'm just gonna spoil it. Fitz and Coulson get stuck there.
Okay.
So they're in that same like kind of in between state, but they're not enough in between where they can interact with people in the real world like those not ghost things can. So yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah. Ghost
Rider.
When that one came out, I said I'm gonna give it some time and see, because I figured they might explain it as like it's not like the actual origin story of Ghost Rider, which I know is like he sold his soul to the devil, right?
Yeah.
But then I think early on in the season they say he like says, "Yeah, I sold my soul to the devil." So I'm like, okay,
Yep.
I guess they're not gonna go that way. So
Yep, he very much did say that.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they're going to bring him back, but the way that they kind of left his character, that he very much could come back.
hmm
So hopefully they don't. It's sort of like a Darth Maul thing. Like,
yeah,
stop. It's a dead horse.
right.
So
You have anything
All right.
else?
nope. That's it.
Okay, I guess it's my turn. I got a couple different things. We had Kyle and his wife over, and we watched a movie from 1984 called The Last Starfighter. And it's a movie that I had seen when I was a kid. I believe, Kyle, you had seen that movie when you were a kid as well, but hadn't seen it as an adult. So it was interesting. It was good. It reminded me a lot of the Ernst Cline book, Armada. But I was really surprised because this movie came out in 1984. So it was after Return of the Jedi came out, and the graphics in this movie were particularly horrible. Like, they look like they were like cartoon sketches. I don't know. What do you think, Kyle?
I was wrapped up in it all because I watched it as a kid. I loved it then. I loved it now.
Yeah. No, I still liked it, and it made me happy. It brought me back to my childhood a little bit. But I was surprised at how bad the graphics could be, and I was wondering maybe it had a smaller budget.
Yeah, I mean it was something taken straight out of Star Fox, I guess.
Straight out of Star Fox. I think it might be the opposite. Star Fox might have came straight out of it.
Yeah, that's true.
But if in case you're interested, we're gonna publish the show notes later, and I put a nice little nifty trailer there for the original trailer when it came out in 1984, and it's pretty funny.
When I saw that picture, the first thing I thought was Ready Player One.
Yeah, well, yeah, I can see where you would think that. And Armada, the second book that Ernst Cline wrote, because he wrote Ready Player One, was very much like Last Starfighter, and he references it a lot. So you can tell that's where he got a lot of his inspiration.
Yeah.
Then I finished watching My Hero Academia Season 2. I like it, but Deku is still a crybaby. He cries constantly, and it's annoying. He's got these superpowers. He's really powerful, and I just wish he wouldn't cry so much. And yeah, I don't know what you think about that, Kyle, but I know you're a My Hero Academia fan, but he just annoys me with his crying. Just want him to grow up a little bit.
I never even noticed he cried.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, he cries like every 3 seconds. He cries. Anyways, I'll keep moving. I also watched Pacific Rim, which I think I mentioned last episode that I wanted to watch it. I finally got the opportunity. I saw it was on TV, like in the middle of the day. So I sent my DVR to record it, and I watched it. And it was pretty cool. I liked the story idea. I liked it more than I thought I would, I guess. I had pretty low expectations, so that probably helped. And I kind of like the idea that there was this black market for kaiju parts. So when these big monsters fall and they die, there's like these scavengers that come on and like rummage through the corpses and like collect everything so that they can sell the stuff and make different things. It was kind of neat.
Yeah.
But that's a movie that's a little bit older now, 2013, I believe it was the release date. So you can easily find it if you wanted to, if you haven't seen it. Then I've almost finished watching Sword Art Online 2. I've watched Sword Art Online 1 years and years ago, a couple times through. One of my favorite anime series. But I just could not get into the second season. It's actually not even the second season. It's like part 2. It's its own separate thing. And finally gave it, since I'm home a lot right now, I finally gave it a chance. And I've gotten through almost all of that season 2, and I'm enjoying it. It's pretty cool. If you like season 1, you'll probably like season 2, but you might have to give it a little extra to get through it. And then I started another anime series called Capellion. Like it so far. I had to explain to Kyle earlier this week that it is not Cop Lion. It has nothing to do with police officer lions. It has to do with genetically modified humans that are going into Tokyo to rescue people because Tokyo has been destroyed by radiation because of a chemical plant explosion. And these humans have been genetically modified so that they are immune to radiation so that they can go in and rescue people.
How
So
can you be genetically modified to be immune to radiation?
I don't know. It's an anime series. You can't really explain it.
Are they genetically modified to look like lions?
No, they look like school children. Like the main characters are these three girls that kind of look like schoolgirls, but there's also guys that are in there too that look like schoolboys. So they're like dressed in like nice like suits, like they would wear to school.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it's a and the guy who's in charge of their organization is called the principal, which is weird, but anyways, that's what it is. And then
Well, time's up.
one last thing is I mentioned earlier that I've been home a little bit lately. It's because my wife had our baby on July 17th at 9:37 in the morning, and he was 2 weeks earlier than we were expecting. So I'm out on some paternity leave for the next couple weeks, but I'll be going back to work soon. And his name is Kai. He weighs 6 pounds, 8 ounces, and he's 19 and a half inches long. And I put a little picture in there of Kai wearing a onesie of Spider-Man, and that will be in the show notes as well. So that's about all I've done. Anyone else have anything they wanted to add that they've been up to since the last episode?
Well, I mean, no, but I do want to add congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, it's exciting. He's been a good baby so far. Very he doesn't cry a whole lot. He is a baby though, so we're working on little sleep at night, but that's the way it is.
Yeah, that should be expected.
Yeah. But it's kind of nice that work gave me some time off so I could spend it home, because I know my wife has mentioned that she didn't know what she would do if it wasn't the case, because it's been a learning curve for both of us because we don't have any children. It's our first. So, trying to figure out his schedule and stuff like that and how to take care of him it's been something new to us. So
Nice.
But I thank you both for your nice words and being supportive.
Yeah.
So very good. So we'll move on. Then that concludes this segment of what we did since our last episode. But before we move on, we want to get a word from one of our friends.
Hey, Zibarelios here. You're listening to Geekcetera. Stay tuned, there's a lot more cool stuff to come. Karabast.
All right. And we are back with Fan Theories, where we're going to talk about one single theory. And the theory we're going to talk about today is that Owen, or Chris Pratt, from Jurassic World, is actually the kid that Alan Grant talks to in Jurassic Park. Now, if you remember this scene, you might not. It's early in the movie of Jurassic Park where Dr. Alan Grant has a raptor claw and he's talking to this boy about how the raptors would slice him and all this stuff like that, and kind of freaking him out a little bit. But you can also see in the kid's face that he's really interested in what he's talking about and kind of finds it cool.
I think he just looks scared.
Yeah, maybe a little scared, but fascinated at the same time. So what do you guys think about this theory that this is the same kid, just, 30 years later, or maybe not 30, 25 years later?
I don't mind it.
I think it's kind of a neat theory. I don't know that we'll ever find out for sure, but it's possible, because the rumor is that they're going to do another Jurassic World.
Why?
Because they're going to keep on doing it until it doesn't make any money.
Yeah, but that's what they're going to do with Star Wars. And at the end of it, no one's going to like Star Wars. No one's going to like Jurassic World. No one's going to like Indiana Jones. It's just everything that made old movies great is going to be not great.
I will always like Star Wars. I can't believe you said that. But anyways. Well, the rumor is in the next movie, which they're working on, or they're planning, the rumor is that they're working on, that they're going to bring back a lot of the old characters from the original Jurassic Park. So characters like Dr. Alan Grant, I forget her name, but she was played by the actress Laura Dern, the blonde girl. And what's the guy's name? He was in this one.
Jeff
Goldblum. Yeah, his character would come back. And even the two kids, and now these are different kids, not the kid that we're talking about that Chris Pratt is, but there was two kids that were the old guys, like grandchildren, I think. Do you remember?
Mm-hmm. They were totally grandchildren.
I don't remember what they were.
And that they would even possibly come back for this one. So to me, it explains why Chris Pratt maybe got interested in dinosaurs in the first place, especially focused on raptors. And I guess the ages line up. But besides that, there really isn't much to go on with this theory. To say,
which also means there's not a lot to confirm, but there's also not a lot to deny.
Right.
Well, hold on. Josh just said it would explain how Chris Pratt got into dinosaurs. Pretty sure every child is into
fair.
dinosaurs.
Well,
That's
I guess
fair.
he didn't get just into dinosaurs, though. He got specifically into velociraptors.
Okay, but until everybody decided that they were actually more like chickens, everyone thought that raptors were the coolest.
It's kind of true. Just like
Like, I know as a kid, I liked velociraptors more than I liked the T-Rex.
Did you like velociraptors, though, because you've seen Jurassic Park?
No, I hadn't seen Jurassic Park until I was 16.
Hmm.
So,
You were very late to Jurassic Park because Jurassic
Yeah.
Park came out in like 1993.
yes. Well, I wasn't even born back then, so it's understandable that I would have been late no matter what.
Well, 16 is very late. I mean, I remember seeing it in the theaters, but
I
well, you're
probably
a little
didn't see
old.
Star Wars Episode 3 until I was like 14. I didn't see it all the way through until I was like 14. So
it's just a little too much for you.
my mother would cover my eyes with a blanket whenever a bad scene would come on.
in Star Wars or in
Can you
Jurassic
Yes,
Park?
explain
it's
bad
Star
scene
Wars.
in
What,
Star
what
Wars?
bad scene?
When Anakin's burning to a piece when he goes to kill all the younglings, there's General Grievous burning from the inside out. Yeah, there was a fair amount in that movie that I was under a blanket for, not by my own will.
What about
I
when
guess.
9-year-old Anakin Skywalker was trying to seduce Padme Amidala?
No, it was
Was
just
that a
for
bad
episode
part?
3. Episode 1 was allowed.
She should have covered your eyes for all the Jar Jar Binks scenes.
All right, let's come back to this
Yep.
this Toronto
Yes.
Raptors. Toronto Raptors.
Toronto Raptors.
It's a very different thing.
Let's come back to this Jurassic Park thing because I'm not into it. Unless it's Star Wars, nobody cares who this kid is, and not everybody has to be something unless it's Star Wars. Pretty soon, if we subscribe to this theory, we're going to be wondering who Chris Pratt's parents are and why they matter.
That's a good question. Who do you think they are?
I think they don't matter.
I think he has the same parents as Ray.
I went back and rewatched this scene, and that kid was just a little whiny, high-pitched.
Twerp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, who cares?
Yeah.
I care. It's kind of an interesting tie-in if they do make it all wrap up like that. That the guy who got him going into his love of velociraptors was Alan Grant from the original movie. I don't know. Whatever. None of it matters. None of this matters, Kyle. It's what we do, though. It's what we speculate about. So I'm going to say this is a true theory that
I
that
wouldn't go that
kid
far.
is Owen from Jurassic World.
I'm going to say it's not a true theory. I'm going to say that it is Star-Lord masquerading as Owen as part of some Avengers type story where he's undercover.
You know what I find interesting is that I think Chris Pratt was named Owen in 2 movies. He was Owen in Jurassic World, and I believe his character was Owen in Lego Movie. So my theory is Chris Pratt's middle name is Owen. Or his real name is Owen. And that Chris Pratt is a stage name.
You know what? I'm going to call you on that.
Can't you look that up? Yeah.
I don't know how.
You don't know how? Oh, how does this Google machine work?
What? Wasn't his name
Internet.
Owen in Lego Movie?
No, his name was Emmett.
Oh, Emmett. Emmett, you're right. Emmett. Dang it. Oh, I guess I was wrong.
Yeah, there goes your theory.
Owen, Emmett, it's very close.
Not really.
You're 0 for 2.
Yeah. So anyone else have anything to add to this theory?
I don't think so.
Well, okay. Well then.
It really looks like Alan Grant is giving him the finger with a raptor claw.
It does.
Oh yeah, and if you're wondering
It's
what he's talking about,
Wolverine.
we have some pictures in the show notes
Yeah.
to show you what kid we're talking about, and you'll probably remember it when you see it. But yeah, he does look like that. He gets very like graphic with that kid, doesn't he?
Yeah,
Yeah. So, all right. Well, we hope you like our theory.
I don't.
And if you don't, that's okay. But, if you have a better theory, one that we really should talk about, you should let us know. And then we'll talk about it on the next episode or the episode after that. Instead of us just picking theories.
Instead of you just picking theories.
Me just picking theories because no one else actually puts any work into this.
Yeah.
We should actually talk about a theory that our listeners want to hear. So let us know. You can get a hold of us in many different ways, like Twitter or email or talk to us, text us, whatever you want.
Yeah, Josh, why don't you just give out your number?
Most of our listeners, I believe, have my number. Like, I'm very accessible. I'm
Let's
not like
not admit to that. No, we have
famous.
tons of listeners.
What?
We have tons of listeners. I'm not admitting that most of our listeners have your number.
Okay.
So, yeah.
You can believe that and think that, but I think most of our listeners have my number. Or they could find it very easily. Anyways, by like asking Chase, "Hey Chase, what's his number?" Because I think most of our
because I know that off the top of my head.
Well, because I think most of our listeners are Chase's friends or family. Maybe. Anyways, send us your theories. Indy must have theories. Indy's listening to every episode.
Indy! No.
So, all right. Anyways, that's all for that segment. But before we move on, let's get a word from one of our friends.
This segment is brought to you by Freihofer Septic Design. The name to know before you go. Call now. Dial 603-209-1221 to make your business our business.
All right, we're back with News and Rumors Oh My, where we're going to talk about some of the geeky news and rumors that we dug up. And we're going to start with you, Kyle.
So, this mobile game that I play, I gotta say, it's probably the same with a lot of mobile games or places where you have to be in a guild where you're working with other people to do something. In my guild, we have certain requirements. There's 50 spots open, and we're trying to complete this one raid that we're doing. So part of our requirements is must-have Chex Mix. And I'm just thinking, taken out of context, for people that don't know what Chex Mix is, even in this game, must be terribly confusing.
I play the game, and I have no idea what you're talking about.
They get a snack to be able to join the guild? No. So Chex Mix, and I'm glad you don't know because that just proves my point, and I think it's ridiculous that we name all these teams, is there's a team composition that started with the character Rex, who's from the Clone Wars, and Chirrut from Rogue One, Star Wars Rogue One. Put those together, and it's in a short named, and they're named Chex, and so then it's a mixed bag of characters, so they just call it Chex Mix. But Rex isn't even on that squad anymore, and it's still Chex Mix. So it's just kind of ridiculous how people name their teams, and games are stupid. Games are ridiculous. That's all. That's my news.
That's not news, but
not,
okay.
Yeah, that's
whatever. I mean, hey, it's your
it's
news.
not even a rumor. It's nothing.
It's news. If you don't have Chex Mix, you're not going to pass the Sith raid. How about that?
Okay. I don't have Chex Mix. Well, let me see. That team, I have everyone on that team except for Death Trooper. Is that what he is called?
Yeah.
I don't have Death Trooper. But I got them all, the rest of them.
Yeah, you need Death Trooper for Chex Mix.
Yeah. I mean, maybe I have them, but I definitely don't have them 7-star. I get the rest of them 7-star. Yeah. Yeah, I do.
But it's like they name teams like there's one called Snack Bar. But that's Akbar and someone else.
Yeah, I'm not up with all
Must
the
have
newest
snack bars.
teams and all that stuff.
Yeah. Anywho, Timeless was canceled.
I know, I'm bummed.
That's my news. I'm pretty bummed about that as well, although I didn't really like the way they ended Season 2. I thought it was...
I felt like it was a little, like, I could see it coming.
Yeah, and I just don't like the way they tried to set up for Season 3. I don't know. And I didn't really like the writing for Owen, not Owen.
Emmett.
I didn't really... What's his name?
Wyatt?
Wyatt, yeah. I didn't really like the writing for Wyatt. So, I mean, I'm sorry, not sorry that Timeless was canceled because I don't think it would have lived up. So, but I'm going to move on, and I got 2 quick items for news. One, there's a coffee shop in France where not saying hello and please makes your coffee more expensive. And
That's
not
awesome.
in a way where it's a secret item menu, but it's actually there on the menu. Like if you order black coffee, it's one price, and then it's can I please have a coffee? That's a second price, and then can I please have a coffee? Thank you is a third price, and the prices get lower as you go down the menu. So I just thought that was neat.
Yeah, I like that.
And then, lastly, Netflix employees get unlimited vacation days.
Really?
So you're gonna go work for Netflix?
Well, where's the closest Netflix?
On my PlayStation, so I guess I can work from home.
Oh.
Yeah.
I want to work for Netflix. Unlimited vacation days?
It's probably not unlimited paid
Does that
vacation.
mean you just don't go in?
I don't know.
I'm assuming it's unpaid.
Yeah, you're probably right. It's unpaid. Which, I mean, that's kind of like my job right now. They're like,
that's true.
If you don't want to get paid, then they're willing to let you take vacation days. But,
yeah,
you just don't expect to get paid from them. Most of us can't do that all the time because we have bills to pay.
That's true. So for those last two items, I did include links in our show notes to proof.
Cool. Anything else you have to add?
Chex Mix.
Okay. All your talk of Chex Mix has really made me want some Chex Mix.
Right?
Yeah, I could really go for some Chex Mix and some, what was the other one? Snack bar. Okay. What about you, Chase?
So, I didn't have anything written out until just now. So, I talked about last week in the trailers portion. I talked about Forza Horizon 4, which is one racing game I play. The other one, so that's like one of the major ones I play, and then another major one I play is the F1 series from Codemasters. And so they're working on development of F1 2018. And so they just came out with news today that they are overhauling their upgrade system for the game. So it's supposed to be more realistic. But I think the thing that I thought was cool is that over the career that you do, there will be regulation changes. So you'll have to like completely redesign your engine to deal with a new regulation. So like in F1, they might decide, yeah, we're going to go from V8s to V10s. Or, hey, we're going to drop down to hybrid V6s or something. So it's supposed to change. So that way different teams kind of, your progress can get reset, or your team might have a leg up if your team is better at that. So it'll be interesting to see how that all plays out. But I just thought that was cool that they're working on actually making it feel more like a realistic game rather than just go casually play this race game and race for no reason.
That is pretty cool. Gives you a reason to get out of bed.
What was that?
Is it like esports?
Yeah, sort of. So in F1 2017, they did actually have an esports league in which I think it was like the top 3 or something, whatever, were actually brought in to scouting for proper Formula One teams as reserve drivers. So these kids who sit around playing a video game all day were brought in to potentially get a job working for an F1 team.
Wow.
That's kind of funny.
Yeah. Esports has real value.
I like that. I'm down.
Yep. So.
Is that all you got?
That's all I got.
All right. Well, I guess I'll go next. I have a couple things, some Stranger Things and some Doctor Who. I'll start with Stranger Things. We know that season 3 is coming soon, hopefully in October, like it has been for the last couple years. They've been releasing in October. And David Harbour said in a recent interview when talking about his character, Hopper, and he's the police officer, if you don't really know anything about Stranger Things, that we won't be seeing the same softer Hopper in season 2. And I put in our show notes a little quote from him when he was speaking with Deadline, how he talked about how in season 2 we got kind of a softer side of Hopper, how he was raising Eleven a little bit and kind of being like a dad figure. Well, in season 3 we're going to get more of what he was like in season 1, where he's a little bit more rough and tough and brash and things like that. So kind of an interesting change of character for him coming from season 2, but not that strange because we've seen it in season 1. And then also Netflix released an interesting teaser for Stranger Things season 3, and it is featuring Steve working at a 1980s mall called the Starcourt Mall. So if you see this trailer, you can tell they definitely put some time into it, and makes me think that maybe this mall could tie into the story in some way, which would kind of be cool. So now they're as they progress in the 80s, they're getting a little bit closer to. I guess it's now what was the first season, 83.
Mm-hmm.
So now there's probably gonna be like 85. So they're getting to the mid 80s, and the 80s are starting to introduce malls and things like that. So they're sticking in that same vein of the 80s, which is cool. Did you get a chance to watch that trailer at all, Kyle? I know, Chase, you don't watch Stranger Things. But...
Yeah, no.
I have not.
Oh, okay. You might want to check it out. I put a link to a YouTube video in the show notes. And then just another thing. This is Doctor Who news. It's actually a little older, but I didn't end up putting in a whole lot of new news because we never got a chance to record last week because my son was born. But so some of this news was actually new last week, not necessarily this week. But with Doctor Who, BBC released a teaser of Doctor Who Series 11, where we finally get a good look at Jodie Whittaker as the Doctor. So I'm not exactly sure when that season's going to kick off. Season 11? Do you know? Or Series 11 or whatever they call it?
I gave up on the show a while ago.
You did?
Wouldn't it be like a Christmas special and then we keep going?
Is that what it's going to be?
That's my guess.
Yeah, probably. So that's what I had for news. There's a ton of Comic-Con news that came out. Star Wars alone had a bunch of new comic books released or titles released for comic books and novels released and things like that. I didn't get a chance to really comb through it all. Maybe for the next episode I will be able to. But there was just a ton of stuff that was released with Comic-Con. San Diego Comic-Con I'm talking about, obviously. Because that's
Josh,
the big one.
You're moving kind of fast there, buddy.
What's that?
I say you're moving kind of fast. I just barely pulled the air date for Season 11.
No, sorry.
Which is autumn of 2018. And I don't know what autumn is, but I think they might mean fall of 2018.
Yeah,
and if that's true, a couple months.
Okay. Very good. We'll move on. So that's all the news and rumors that we have for this week, and we're going to keep on rolling. But first, we're going to get a word from our friends.
This segment is brought to you by Preventure Service Company. I like it. Got a major renovation you need done? Armin's been doing it all since 1981. For fast and friendly service, contact Preventure at gsinet.net.
We're back with our segment called Can't Wait, where we get to talk about trailers to games or movies that we're just interested in. And I'm going to start this one off. I'm going to talk about a trailer that was released for San Diego Comic-Con, and it is Glass. I'm not sure if you guys got a chance to look at it. There will be a link to the show in the show notes to the YouTube. But Glass is a sequel to M. Night Shyamalan's Unbreakable and Split. I didn't see Split. I did see Unbreakable. But that is kind of like M. Night Shyamalan's superhero kind of genre thing that he does, where it's kind of a little dark and stuff like that, a little dark and twisted from a normal superhero story. But it's going to feature Bruce Willis and Samuel L. Jackson, who you'll know from Unbreakable, and then James McAvoy, who you'll know from Split. And they're going to all be together in this movie. It looks interesting. Did you guys get a chance to look at it?
I did not. I think it's funny, though, that you say, Bruce Willis and Samuel L. Jackson, who we know from Unbreakable, because I would have picked them for a bunch of other things before Unbreakable.
Well, I mean, yeah, but in this series, I guess, or this sequel, that's where they're coming out of. They weren't in Split, as far as I know.
Bruce Willis was.
He was?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. See,
yeah,
I didn't see Split, and I do want to watch it. I just haven't got a chance. Did you like Split?
Yeah, Split was pretty good. And then Bruce Willis had his cameo at the end.
Okay. That's how I know that there was I knew there was some reveal that showed that it was all tied in, but I didn't know what it was. So you spoiled that for me, but that's okay.
It's Bruce Willis.
All right, so that's all I had. We'll move on to you, Chase. What do you have?
I have happy news.
Happy news.
Happy news in the fact that they are bringing Star Wars: The Clone Wars, the TV series, back for one more season.
Yay! That is happy news.
It is really happy news. So,
We're going to
trailer.
actually talk about this, though, in our great debate. So I'm going to let you talk about the trailer, but I'm not
Oh,
going
wait, we changed our great debate? What?
Yeah.
I'm not prepared for that. Okay.
Well, no, it's all good. You can talk about the trailer, but I'm not going to get into my feelings on it until then.
Okay, well, then we'll just leave it for then.
Okay. So you watched the trailer, I'm guessing.
Yes.
And then you, Kyle, what do you got?
On Josh's recommendation, I watched the trailer for Shazam.
My recommendation?
Yeah.
That's what it looks like to me.
No, I just said there's a lot of trailers that came out this Comic-Con, and then I believe it was like what, and I listed what I had seen. That wasn't necessarily my recommendation, but anyways, continue.
See, when I saw the trailer myself, I said, wow, DC finally made a movie that looks interesting to me.
Why are you reading these texts? These are very private texts.
Very private, he says in a group chat.
Anyways, on Josh's recommendation, I watched the trailer for Shazam. It's scheduled to come out in April 5th of 2019, and I can't help but feeling like this looks less of a big budget blockbuster movie trailer than a new TV series coming out on the CW trailer that's going to be in the Flash Arrowverse.
Wait, you love those movies on those shows on the CW. So what are you talking about?
Well, I mean,
Arrow and Flash and
I
Smallville
do.
and all that garbage.
But well, actually, I never really liked Smallville. That was more Whartonby. But if those were to be made movies, I would want a bigger budget and it to look more realistic. Look, the whole thing is it's starring Zachary Levi in the title role as Shazam. And
I believe Chase is a big Zachary Levi fan.
he is.
I am a Zachary Levi fan, and I don't know.
It looks like he was wearing a muscle suit.
Yeah,
It really
it
does.
looks bad. It looks
Like,
bad.
with the shoulders and everything, because
His shoulders are like at the height of his chin. It's so.
as heroes, Shazam and Superman are very comparable. There's storylines where Shazam is sent out as the foil to Superman, right? So you expect an actor to at least get into the role like Henry Cavill did, and like that dude got jacked. And it
Or
doesn't look
Chris
like
Pratt.
or Chris Pratt, right?
Yeah.
And it doesn't look like Levi. Maybe he did get jacked, but he just is a tiny guy, you know. And he just has a little head on this big body, and it looks ridiculous.
Yeah.
And
It
then the
doesn't
other
look real, like you said. Like his head does not fit with the body.
No.
Yeah, no. And
Yeah.
then the other thing is, for years, I think since 2014, since they've been talking about this movie, Dwayne The Rock Johnson has been attached to this movie in the role as
Yes.
Black Adam, and now that they're releasing this movie, he's not going to be part of it. And he's getting his own film, I guess, as Black Adam, but that's the big bad in the Shazam world, and he's not even going to be in it. So
Yeah.
it's just a disappointment.
I feel like every other month there's a new Rock movie coming out, and I'm so done with it. Like he just needs to stop.
So.
You can't say yes to every role.
I think
can't.
that's why he's like the highest
Well,
paid
apparently
actor.
he's stopping with Shazam.
It's just by sheer volume.
Yeah. It's,
But he's got to make that money.
he has all the money. He doesn't need more of it.
That's the thing, though, is when you have a lot of money, your only thing you want is more money. That's just the way it is, like an addiction.
Yeah.
Still, yeah. I don't think that The Rock is a good actor anymore.
Do you smell what The Rock is cooking? Come on.
No.
You don't smell it?
Nope.
Not anymore. So it's interesting because I'm not a DC fan at all. I think I've mentioned that several times during this podcast. But when I saw the trailer for Shazam, I actually thought, hey, there's a DC movie that looks good. Because DC always tries to take itself so serious and be like dark and brooding and scary and oh my goodness, Batman, he talks in a low grumble all the time and General Zod always terrible and all this garbage. And then you finally get like something funny, like, hey, this kid turns into a superhero. This is kind of interesting to me. And it looks kind of funny. It looked like, hey, finally DC isn't taking itself as serious as they usually do.
Well, maybe that's not a step in the right direction as far as this movie is concerned.
Maybe. I don't really know the story of Shazam at all, though. I don't know anything about it. All I know is that I thought at first it was a Shaquille O'Neal movie. But I
would
think
try
that
to
was
explain it to you, but I'm not gonna lie, it's a little bit too comic booky.
yeah. Anyone else have anything to add to their movie trailers?
Nope.
All right.
Shazam.
So that's it for our Can't Wait segment where we talked about movie trailers that we are looking forward to seeing. And we're going to move into our next segment. But first, let's get a word from our friends.
Do you have a comment that you'd like read on the air? If so, email at geekceteranetwork@gmail.com. Looking forward to hearing from you.
And we're back with the... Oh, wow. We're celebrating.
We're celebrating
our great debate. That's right, because we're back with our great debate where we're going to talk about something Chase touched on earlier.
English is hard, it's fine.
Clone Wars Saved, which is the hashtag that's being used to describe the fact that Clone Wars is coming back. So I thought that I think all three of us, if Luke was here, all four of us have watched Clone Wars beginning to end. And so we all can be kind of versed on this subject, I believe. But what are your initial thoughts? Just open forum, anyone can talk, that Clone Wars is coming back.
I'm excited.
Mm-hmm.
Me too.
Okay, good start. I thought the Clone Wars was much better than Rebels, and I liked Rebels. I really ended up liking Rebels by the end of it, even though I didn't want to when it started. But Clone Wars was a really good TV show, and I'm excited for them to bring it back. I am concerned, though, that it's going to have more of the Darth Maul storyline, and I'm quite done with the Darth Maul storyline.
Well, it could, but it would be earlier than what we got of Darth Maul in Rebels.
It would.
So it wouldn't really explain.
But it wouldn't be too much. I don't think it's going to be too much after what we see when we leave him in Clone Wars the first time.
True. I'm hoping that if what we're going to get from this series is that it's going to run right into episode 3.
Mm-hmm.
So that there will be no more room to tell stories in between.
Yeah, it finishes the Clone Wars. I think that would be good. Because
this surprised me when I first saw the trailer. I was even a little confused as to what it was saying. Like, are we getting a movie, like to finish everything up, or is it going to be a series, or what is it going to be?
Yeah.
Like, what are we getting here?
Yeah.
And it sounds like from everything I understand that it's going to be the series is coming back.
Yeah, I don't remember what it was. I don't know if I saw it was a 12-episode season that's being released or something. So it's not going to be very long.
Yeah.
But
is it going to be season 1 again, or
no
season?
It looks like it's going to be leading into episode 3, because if you watch the trailer, Anakin has long hair, and
right,
Ahsoka
got the hair
looks
that
more
he
like
had.
she does in Rebels.
Yeah. Yep. I noticed that too.
Yeah,
Anakin has the hair from episode 3.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, I would love if the last scene is, or the last episode is Chancellor Palpatine getting kidnapped and brought onto the Separatist ship with the attack of Coruscant.
I think that's the way they have to do it.
I think that'd be cool.
Yeah. I'm curious the storylines that they're gonna play, because really, I'm just interested in what they're gonna like. We know that some of the clones, right, removed their chip from Rebels.
Yep.
So we're gonna get that story arc of Captain Rex telling them to do that, or
I don't think that we really need that, because we already saw no, it wasn't Fives. Yeah, it was Fives. Fives was already the one who learned, and he's the one who kind of told Rex about it. Mm-hmm. So I don't think we really need the explanation of Rex going on this journey by himself to find it.
Yeah. So I'm just curious the storylines we're going to get, what new characters will come out of it.
Hopefully not too many.
Yeah, I hope they're doing more wrapping of story arcs that we might have started than introducing a new story. So if they're going to wrap the overall series coming into episode 3 and then wrapping up anything that they had started, if they're going to do anything with Maul, I think it's a huge mistake, because
I agree.
I don't know what Disney's plan is, but if the plan is to introduce Maul back into the movies and maybe do a standalone or tie him into something else they're going to do, they can't go back and tell more of his story in the Clone Wars, because they're just getting rid of material. They're going to use this stuff up. It's a mistake either way, but they shouldn't go back and now re-add Maul into the Clone Wars.
So the reason I suspect Maul is because you see Ahsoka with Mandalorians, and so I think I read it somewhere that this is going to focus a bit more on the Mandalorian story arc.
Could we get like an introduction to someone like a Dryden Voss, who is a character we don't really know much about?
Maybe.
Yeah, we could.
Or even Emphas Nest.
No.
Like not the because we know that Emphas Nest is a character is a mantle that has been taken on by numerous people.
Mm-hmm.
So not necessarily the Emphas Nest we got in Solo, but an Emphas Nest of like her mother.
Maybe.
So
Yeah,
I don't know. And I was thinking about this as also being a way that maybe Lucasfilm is looking at we can settle down the fans, right? Like they're so rowdy right now and angry and bloodthirsty about everything Lucasfilm is doing that if they say, let's give them something they really want, they'll calm down. They'll come back to the franchise. They'll stop boycotting. They'll do all, and then it will hopefully open up to be able to do other things again.
Who's boycotting?
I think they're still letting Dave Filoni do it, which I think is the right choice. I think if they went to somebody else, it would be a very, very bad idea.
No, I agree. But I'm really thinking that's the case. Like, why else would they come back to this after all this time? They've gone off and they've done Rebels, and then I thought after Rebels ended, they were going to pick up something new and fresh, and they're going back to Clone Wars.
Well, so what's the other thing? Because there's
Resistance.
Resistance, that's the one. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right.
From everyone I've talked to about that, nobody cares.
Yeah.
Literally, nobody cares.
And we haven't seen anything.
Clone Wars was so successful.
Yeah.
Like,
and is Resistance Dave Filoni or is it someone different?
I don't know.
It's a good question. That's something to
Because
look up.
nobody
That I
cares.
don't know.
Let me IMDb it.
But they need at some point, I think they have to do what Josh said and just learn what the fans want and give that to the fans rather than doing what they want to do.
Mm-hmm.
If we say, give us more Clone Wars, then give us Clone Wars. If we say, hey, the whole thing with Rose was stupid in Episode 8, then just kill Rose off. Like,
it says creator Dave Filoni is Resistance. And it also has it listed as 2018.
I believe that.
Really?
I bet it's coming this fall.
Yeah, I wonder.
Like,
but
you
we
mean
haven't
this
gotten a
autumn?
trailer or anything. Like, what are they waiting for?
Yeah, I don't know. If it is Dave Filoni, then I will give it a try. But I'm going to go into it with the same, mindset that I went into Rebels with, whereas this can never be Clone Wars. Right, and that one, it's, as far as I knew with Resistance, it's only going to be available on the Disney streaming service, right?
Oh, yeah, you might be right about that. But if it comes out in 18, I didn't think the Disney streaming service was coming out in 18.
Maybe. I don't know. Because I thought that when I looked that up the other day, it said only on the Disney streaming service. We'll see. And when I was talking about that with some of my friends, we had said, I hope not. And they're like, well, what does it matter? Because we're all going to get it anyway.
What, we're all going to get the
Disney streaming service.
Yeah, probably.
Because it's going to have all the Disney movies, all of Star Wars, all of Marvel movies. It's going to have...
Yeah. I was kind of surprised that they actually still have stuff on Netflix.
Well, because their thing isn't up yet, right?
Well, they even have Last Jedi on there.
Yeah, that I thought was weird.
So, and Last Jedi just came out in the spring.
I wonder if Netflix paid a lot to have that happen, though.
Maybe.
You're like, hey, we need something.
Yeah. So. But anyone have anything else they wanted to talk about on the Clone Wars? What they think? I mean, we're all happy about it.
Yeah.
I think it'll be good. I think they're bringing back all the...
As long as they don't bring back Darth Maul, then I will be happy.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of something, I just thought of something that I caught the other day, and it totally surprised me. Do you guys know who voiced Anakin Skywalker in the Clone Wars series without looking it up?
No.
Hold on. Is it Christopher something?
No, I don't know his name, but he's been in something else.
Wait a second. What do you mean you don't know his name, but you're going to ask us this question and say don't look it up?
I'm pulling up his name, but he's in...
He's going to quiz us on something he doesn't know.
Do you know the actor?
Um...
His name's not Chris.
I have no idea.
Give me a hint as to his name.
Well, the reason I'm bringing it up is because he is an actor in a TV series that we talked about tonight. He's like a main character in a TV series that we talked about tonight. and he also voice acted Anakin Skywalker in the Clone Wars series.
He's in S.H.I.E.L.D., Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Nope.
Okay, I was gonna say it doesn't. I'm trying to think back now because I was like, wait, is that so? A TV series we talked about tonight. Is it a TV series I've watched?
I don't know if you've watched it, but Kyle has. Kyle specifically talked about this TV series tonight.
Kyle, what did you talk about tonight?
Chuck.
So I caught this because I was recently watching something on YouTube, and it was showing voice actors from the Clone Wars, and they showed the picture of this guy, and I'm like, hey, I didn't know that guy was like. And then when I thought of the voices, I'm like, how did I not know that? That's the voice.
Is it Timeless?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I haven't seen that, so it's all on you, Kyle.
Matt Lanter, who is Wyatt.
Really?
He's the one that voice acted Anakin Skywalker in the Clone Wars series. Yeah.
Huh.
Which then when I thought about the voices, I'm like, oh yeah, I hear it. Like in my head even, like
That's pretty cool.
they lined up perfectly. So that's all. Thought that was kind of neat.
Yeah, who would have thought?
Well, I guess he's got a job, so like we don't have to worry too much about Matt Lanter. He's got a job going still.
I was so worried about him. I was like, what is that guy gonna do when Timeless is canceled?
Anyone have anything else?
Hey, do you know what the 17th president's wife's name is?
Margaret.
That's a good guess.
I'm not even gonna bother to look it up. I just don't know the answer, but I wanted you guys to guess.
Okay, sounds good.
All right.
Interesting tie-in. So I think that's it for this episode.
I think so.
Before we wrap it up, though, we want to mention that we have no listener comments. I guess that's not true. We had listener comments before the show, which was don't do the timing thing anymore.
Yeah.
That was the only listener comments we got.
Yeah.
So if someone wanted to give us like actual like comments on the show besides that, like that would be good. Like, I don't know, like something we talk about or
Supposedly, it sounds like my sister has a list of things that she needs to come on and correct us about. So.
All right. So, well, if you want to send us listener comments, do it.
I have a proposal. If we do go back to timing, the chime that we need to use.
What is it?
I'm pulling it up.
Okay, let's hear it.
Who's your friend who likes to play?
What?
Wait, can you tell me what movie this was from?
Who's your friend who likes to play?
His rocket makes you yell hooray.
Who's your friend
No.
that likes to play?
Who's the best
I have no idea what this is.
It's
This
Inside
is
Out.
a stupid clip.
Oh, is it?
It's Inside Out, but I wanted to go right to Bing Bong, Bing Bong. I'm just gonna cut that whole part out. This is stupid.
No, you're leaving it in.
Oh, I know. Bing Bong, yeah. I've only seen that movie once.
I
It was
still
one.
haven't seen that movie.
How'd you know it was Inside Out then?
Because I know things.
Apparently.
I
know
have
things.
watched Cinema Sins. Don't you dare think that I don't.
You know things like racing. That's your thing. We were talking earlier before you came on that racing is like kind of like, like not that geeky. It's kind of more like redneck.
I disagree.
What do you call
NASCAR. NASCAR
Yeah.
for sure. I will give you.
NASCAR. That's racing.
NASCAR is not considered racing by people who actually enjoy racing. NASCAR is a demolition derby. It's a demolition derby that whoever finishes first wins. Whereas there's actual forms of racing that take driver skill.
I see. So I was just my comment was Chase is more of a redneck than a nerd.
That is a lie. How dare you?
It was pretty funny when he came out and was like, "Yeah, he just likes NASCAR." I was like, "That's not what Chase likes."
It's just like the one race sport that I don't like.
I was offended for you, and I don't even like your redneck sports.
I will watch
You love
any
that
other
Talladega
racing
Nights.
sport than NASCAR.
So that's it for our show. We hope you enjoyed this week's episode of Geek Cetera, and we want you to join us next time for another thrilling adventure. But until then, you gotta find your Death Star.
I can tell by your mustache that you are a man of importance and not to be trifled with.
Congratulations, you've been liberated.
Want more from the geeks? Please check out www.geek-cetera.com. You can also follow us on Twitter @geekcetera or subscribe to us on YouTube. Don't forget to like us on Facebook. And if you want to discuss your own favorite geeky topics, Join us on Reddit by searching r/GeekCetera. You may even get a shout out in a future episode. This episode is brought to you by the Geek Cetera team. Now this is podcasting.